Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mind Your Mental. Just a reminder that this podcast is not meant to be a substitute for a relationship with a licensed mental health professional. I know they are hard to find, and I get that. I have a bunch of resources on my website if you need them, but I am not your clinician. I am a psychologist, but I am not your psychologist. So if you need any specific help, please look for the help of a licensed mental health professional. Learn all you can learn from the podcast. Enjoy the episode. Yeah, I actually suck at that. One day I hope to get better, but no. I have my limit at this point, but there are times when I go past it, like if somebody asks certain things, but I make it a point to pull back on other things.
Okay.
Like when my caseload was actually pretty high, I typically wasn't on social media as much because I consider that very much a part of my job too. So I think that is something that many clinicians, if any clinicians are listening to this, the salience of therapy is that you are able to be a teammate for your patient. Like you're able to be on their team and look at their issues and collaborate on goals and be objective. But if you are truly only dedicating time to your patient, like the 50-minute session, it takes so much more. You have note writing, you have treatment planning, you have revisions. If you're not taking the time to ruminate on your patients and think about, like, when they said that, I forgot to say this in session, but I'm gonna say it next week. Like it takes away the salience and the importance of therapy as well. And especially with you focus primarily on men. What are some unique mental health challenges that you feel like are faced specifically by men overall? And have you noticed any differences with Black men?
Yeah.
Because it's a different aspect of it.
Yeah. The first few things that come to mind are, three things. I would say defining what masculinity is for men, identifying what their identity is, and then this pressure space of being raised to be mom's boyfriend, husband, mom's son, sister's protector, right? So there's this role, this idea that this Black man has to be all these things to different people, but he cannot be what he needs to be for himself because he don't need anything. As long as he's taking care of everybody else, he's fine. And so I think that that's what I've seen specifically for Black men, especially, when you look at the differences between races. Black men, I think, have this internal narrative of masculinity means I have to be hard, and hard means I can't be vulnerable. And not being vulnerable means I always have to suppress what I feel because there's nobody that's either going to create a safe space for me. I can't be honest about how I feel because every time I did, you blew up. Mom blew up because she was worried about me. My partner blew up because they see me as weak because they were taught that men are supposed to be like this because that's how dad and granddad were, right? So when I look at what I notice the most working with men, especially Black men, is my identity is rooted in one thing. I don't really know how to define masculinity. And I have a lot of pressure on my shoulders, which is how symptoms of depression get misdiagnosed because we just see, oh, that's how he is. No, we really need to explore what's happening with you because this isn't okay for you to be disconnected from everybody and for you to isolate as soon as you get home and for you to work all these hours and not to have anything for yourself. So a lot of times I'll ask my guys, what does life look like when you're not being a husband? Or what does life look like when you're not on the court? Or what does life look like outside of these roles that you are putting first? And there's this silence because they don't really know what else there is or what else they can do. So giving them this reassurance that you get to be more than just a ball player, you get to be more than just the dad or just the husband, you get to be a combination of all of these different roles that you play in life. And that creates your identity.
That's amazing because one of the biggest things I focus on is Black identity development. And in doing that, my goal is always to rehumanize Black individuals, he, she, and they, treat them in an age-appropriate manner instead of the adultification that they deal with, and trying to work with patients on ways to do that and educate others. What are some tips that you would have for people who are dealing with exactly what you mentioned, like having difficulty seeing themselves outside of tangible things that they can provide? outside of money that they can provide for their partner or protection that they can provide for someone. What are some tips that you would provide to individuals who are struggling with exactly what you mentioned?
Well, here I go, being a therapist. I want to explore the relationship that they have with that mindset, but truly, let's put something down for a moment. Let's look at the day and let's say, all right, what can I take off my plate and what can I replace that with that's going to feel really good to me that doesn't bring harm to me or anyone else? Let's use our imagination and go back to a time that felt really good. I felt really sexy. I felt attractive. I felt like I was on my grind. What was happening in life, right? Because sometimes we don't really have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to tap back into a time that really worked and that felt good. So let's tap back into that. Let's take something off our plate and replace that with something that feels good. And then also let's get to know ourselves in a way that maybe we haven't yet. I always talk to my guys about you deserve to feel sexy too. You deserve to be wanted. You deserve to feel handsome. When you going to get the haircut? Because it's only up from there. The day you get your haircut, you finna go everywhere. All right. So how do we do that on a regular basis? You like going to Target too? Okay, bet. You haven't been to the gym in a while. How do we make room for that? So truly, even from a spiritual standpoint, I think we have to make room for the things that we say we want. And if I know I'm not feeling like myself, what is it that I can do on a regular basis to get closer to this ideal sense of self that I have? And sometimes that's really just simplifying what we see as complicated, but also communicating to our community in our circle that, hey, I'm going to start doing this every third Wednesday, or I'm going to really communicating to your family and those that support you what you're going to need. Even if you don't know what that is yet, go ahead and start being assertive and communicate your idea, your imagination, your desires, and see how they do with it. Because just like you can't read their mind, they can't read yours either. So everything that we do in session, we want to be able to do that out there, which is starting with being assertive. Use the word collaboration earlier. I look at therapy as a collaboration. This is not a dictatorship. I'm not coming in here and telling you, you got to do this and you got to do that. Now, sometimes I will create a narrative to see if you align with that or not. But it's not you have to do this, because who am I? I'm a part of your team. So I'm gonna rock with you no matter what. So if you say this is what you want to do, if that aligns with your goals and your well-being, let's shake. But if you come in here next week and say, well, man, I didn't. Okay, well, let's talk about what was the barrier and how do we get back on track?
I love that. Is your caseload already full? Because you probably gonna have some. Is your caseload already full?
Yo, we don't want to talk about caseloads, do we?
Okay, I'm about to say I'm just saying you probably gonna get some requests after that amazing answer. I mean, you gave tangible tips. You gave prompts that they can ask themselves. I'm just saying.
Ooh, caseload.
I'm just saying.
I
don't know. You might have to start fighting people off with the.
Come on, because what's up?
You might have to start be like, I know you heard the episode. I'm so sorry. I am full. Yeah. I am so sorry. I am full right now.
As I continue my work, I am trying to scale back on the amount of people that I'm seeing, but I don't know if I'll ever not see clients. I think I'll be that 80-year-old therapist working with 5 people and I just got my people. I think that it's a part of my purpose. And it's different from even the students that I teach. First day of class, I always ask, why are you here? And do not tell me you want to help people. That's not an acceptable answer. Why are you here? And I really want to know, because if all you say is I want to help people, you can go be an accountant. This takes a gift. You can be a cashier and smile at somebody. Yes. Right? I am appreciative of people that are kind when I'm getting customer service. So truly understanding why you're here. And I really believe this is a gift. I am where I'm supposed to be, and I am grateful every day that I get the privilege of working with my guys. I call them my guys, because if you can come into my office and just take your shoes off, man, that's what I'm talking about. This is your space to just relax and be whoever you are, no matter how ugly or messy or complicated that may be, because I always say, men deserve a safe space to feel seen, heard, and challenged. Seen. Can I communicate authentically? Challenged, are you going to hold me accountable, right? Because it's not just all about making me feel good. No, bro, you were wrong for that. That was foul. And I get to tell you that. Did you ever think about how that would make this person feel? could you have used a different choice of words? Because what are we doing? Right? We can have those kind of conversations. And I think that that's what, when you're living in your purpose and you have a gift for it, in addition to some education, you make for a really great environment.
I love that. No, bro, you were wrong for that. Because I feel the same way. Like even in my home, I make sure that like there's so many. I'm the only woman in my home.
Yeah.
Okay, even the dog is a dude. I say this all the time. So honestly, most of the artwork doesn't even look like me. Like there's actually a basketball court on and I'm not even exaggerating, on every single door. Not to mention the freestanding basketball court hoop, and the other one that we had to put in storage that had a spot that looked like it was from an arcade. The art is more so black men and stuff like that. And I make it a point. I always tell individuals, like, there's this mindset sometimes with black parents and black families to say the world is tough, so I'm going to be tougher. And I always state that the world is tough, so I'm going to be a safe space to land, because I will definitely not treat any black people, black men, black women, people who do not identify with gender, non-binary people. I'm not going to treat them the same way the world treats them. Because I think if there's anything that we can agree is that we deserve better. And it sounds like with your practice, you're providing that same exact space, which is just so appreciative, because black men don't get that. I mean, there are many men who don't get that in the first place. Hey, everyone, just a reminder that Mind Your Mental is not just a podcast. It is also a amazing community, if I do say so myself. It's phenomenal. I mean, you get more access to me. What more could you want in this life? So if you want to join the community, if you're not already on the community, go to my social media. My social media is the same, Raquel Martin, PhD, and DM me the word community so you can get details on joining this amazing flipping community. You get more access to me, y'all. Like, I'm a delight. All right. Hope to see you there.